Interesting.
So you return back to self.
Yeah.
When you're going into your dry fast, you're returning back to who you are within yourself.
Yeah.
But it's not about anyone exterior, so it's about you, you know, everything to do with self, everything.
Of course.
Proper still.
So I had to lock myself away in my room and that, just like.
Them dry fasts I see. I do a dry fast every Monday.
Yeah.
I've just come off it every 3 months. I switch it up to a herbal tea or I jump on fruits on a Monday. And I got a group chat that do it as well. And
Okay.
everyone's saying the benefits of the dry fast that they've been doing as well. 24 hours. Nothing too mad because I've done about 5 days, nothing. And I really felt that.
5 days dry fast, yeah.
Dry fast, yeah. The fasting's my thing. I do that. That's my thing.
That's proper still.
But the deepest one that I done was, I'd say, the fruit fast.
Yeah.
120 days on the fruits. That changed the mechanism of my body.
Yeah.
Everything changed. Don't get twisted. I really lost a lot. You know, good minerals and bad minerals. Everything come out. I mean, loads of different things come out. I mean, parasites. You name it. I've seen it come out in the toilet.
Yeah.
That's how I can sit here and say it's the truth. Because I've seen a detoxification of myself. I know my mind was different. My programming, everything's different.
Yeah.
I'm releasing a lot of toxins. Remember, you're living just on the fruits. You know.
Yeah.
Fruits are connected with the sun.
For real.
So it's just one connection there from me to the fruits to the sun. And it's just bonding.
You have any spiritual experiences from it?
I did, you know. One of the times I had an out-of-body experience. It wasn't like I went out my body, but my body was laying there flat and my brethren was with me because this time I was on my fruit fast, but I couldn't leave the yard.
Yeah.
And I was doing videos on Instagram every day. So we had to come to my yard to do the video because the body was just gone. So I'm blacking out enough times. I'm blacking, but I said, I can't stop this now. I'm in it. I've signed up for this. I'm in it. So this is a part of it.
Yeah.
One time I'm on the floor. I'm thinking, you know, truthfully, I'm not going to tell you, because it's not about what other people think. I'm going to tell you the truth.
Of course.
Thinking about my ex, you know. Well, I thought I was over her.
Yeah.
I thought it was done. And I just felt some big load come to me, like through my eyes, tears come to my eyes. I said, what's going on here? How am I feeling like this? And she come to my mind. So then I've hold a meditation. I felt like I've left my body, but my body's just there. And he said I was just still. I didn't even breathe. He said, this is what my brethren told me. Remember, I'm in a different place now, thinking about that in the meditation. But he said my body's just there, and I didn't even breathe. He said I was just still. And when I done that, that's when I really healed from her. But I thought I was already healed. I thought, oh, business about that, yeah. No, that's when I realised that this is a deeper thing. I need to mind what I'm doing with women. You need to be more conscious about what you're dealing with.
Now you're hitting nails on heads for me, because now we're going into my space and realms where we're talking about cellular information. We're talking about stuff that's sitting within the cells that we don't even realize, stuff that's sitting within that solar plexus, sitting within those emotional spaces inside of our own bodies. But because we just shove it and bury it. Sometimes we even lock it with a key and say we don't want to deal with that again. It's going to surface though. And I call it the swamp of self, because everyone's got a swamp. It's just, how dirty is that swamp? How grungy is that swamp? How much of that stuff has tried to surface and then you keep burying it? I was briefly talking in my live about vices. Most people have a vice, whether that be I burn bare ganja every single day, all day. I drink alcohol. I eat bare food till it's just freaking crazy and I'm, gaining mad weight. Heroin. There could be so many different vices that people have, but it could also be you want to be appreciated by certain people and you want certain people to like your stuff. I want people to actually say that I'm okay and I'm good and I'm amazing. All these vices actually bring us to states that we're ignoring something. There's something we're ignoring because I want to be in a whole different place. So I'm just going to smoke myself to a whole different place. I know that well because I used to be that. And I stopped smoking and then the stuff that surfaced was crazy. Yeah. So you're saying now that you stopped eating the food, that could also be a vice. And then now your body hasn't got nothing to distract it. There's nothing going on inside of it to distract it. There's no digestion going on. There's nothing flooding through the lymphatics. There's nothing going on. So now it's like, boom, silence.
So would you say that the food masks trauma that you had dealt with as well?
This is what I'm saying. You're ignoring it. So the heroin's masking it. The freaking weed's masking it. Everything that is a vice, that is an addiction, masks some type of trauma.
Food's deep.
Unfortunately.
But I feel like it suppresses people's emotions. People are going to food to feel emotions and get more sexual with the food, and they eat for the taste. Oh, I need my burger. It's always looking for that feeling. You don't
sensation.
I need to nourish my temple. No one actually thinks I need to eat and nourish my temple. It's more about
the taste.
That burger, put that sauce on it, put that on it. It's about taste more rather than the nourishment. That's what I've realised with people.
So we tried to give them some bitters now. They're going to look at you like, what is this?
So people look for food for happiness as well.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's the emotions that people are, energy, emotion that people are looking for.
It's like people eating from an emotional state.
Yes.
Of course.
Not eating for nutrition.
And this is why
Yeah,
we're in
yeah.
a society of couch potatoes that just literally sit at your microwave dinner in front of a TV and just literally feed themselves with all of that that's on the TV, feed themselves with all this food, feeding themselves with constant gossip. There's no stillness inside of them at all. It's constant chaos. There's constant gimme, 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 gimme consumerism.
That's how we've been programmed to be, though, isn't it?
Yeah, literally. Until
Yeah.
one day you wake up and you snap out of it. And so I knew that this podcast would be an interesting one because everyone's on their wave and everyone's on their journey. That was an interesting story, though, that you just brought to the table, because whether you spoke about it on live or not, I don't know. But I've
Never,
never heard
first
you
time.
speak about this. And I feel like this podcast is going to do that to people. I have the ability to just bring things out of people that they probably have never spoken about before. People like to hear them type of stories because then it makes them think, oh shit, I wonder if there's anything inside of me that I haven't dealt with, that let me just do a 24-hour fast. Let me just do a 48-hour fast. So all three of you, if there's anything that you would give somebody as inspiration or motivation for them to actually do a fast, what would it be? What are you going to tell them? Because I know there's preparation that also needs to be done. Personally, I would say for the last week before their fast, start eating smaller meals. Smaller, every single day. Till you're probably even just having a smoothie or a water.
I agree with that 100%.
A smoothie or a water, boom, goes into nothing. Or goes into just the water or just the juice. I feel like doing that will help them.
Gradually.
Yeah.
Like the gradual process you're talking there.
Because it's like if they've just had a roast dinner on Sunday and then now they say, yeah, I'm one day fasting.
That's not gonna
Bruh.
work, is it?
One
You know what?
excuse
You're
is
gonna,
over.
you're gonna struggle.
We kind of do that. We kind of do that ourselves.
Yeah,
When
exactly.
we're ready to fast, we break it down to make it much easier. Because if you have a big meal and ready to fast the next day, you're feeling hungry.
Yeah,
You know,
you're
makes
gonna
sense.
break it. You're gonna break it because you're more prone to want to. So yeah, if you guys had some type of motivation you'd give, what would be your motivation you'd give?
I'd say first and foremost is mindset. Getting your mind in the right place first and foremost. And I think it comes with life, with everything, discipline. Just small practices of discipline and just knowing that you have these things is going to benefit your tempo. You're really going into, it's all just, like I said, it all just returns back to self.
Yep,
Go
every
within
time.
yourself.
Yeah.
What do you want from this life?
Every
do you want to
time.
be the best version of yourself? Is a fast going to benefit you? Ask yourself questions. Question self. Say, what do I really want to gain from this life? And just ask yourself. And when you ask yourself that, your true self, not your lower self, you know. I'm talking about your higher self. And when you ask yourself them questions, you'll come to see that something I need to do. I need to step into this. And discipline's everything. Because your body can
Definitely.
do it, you know. 24-hour dry fast, majority of people in the world can do it. Some people got health conditions, fair enough.
Yeah.
But majority of the people in the world can do a 24-hour dry fast. So why not? What's your excuse?
Yeah, it's real talk.
Because everybody sets out the day like in three parts, in it: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. To take one of them out, it's like, whoa, what's going on? Can't be doing that. So that's another thing as well. But I think as well, like it's about mastering yourself, because you can't always give into flesh. Flesh always wants desires and food, and that's all about your
That's
spirit.
big talk, that is.
You
Of
get what I'm
course,
saying?
of course.
You have to allow spirit to take over. Otherwise, I see it as you wasting your time here.
Most definitely, most definitely. And I love how you said it comes back to self. Brings me back to mushroom trips that I've had and show me the same thing. Do you know, what's the winning streak? How do I win in this life? And I'm asking questions because I don't understand how people don't ask questions on mushrooms. I think that's strange to me. But anyhow, I ask questions because I want to learn. I'm asking self, I'm asking God. But every time I'm asking God, it's coming back to myself. What's going on there?
Me of a time.
And I'm asking God, and it's coming back to myself, right? You was there that time.
Yeah, I was asking you questions and you was answering them in my
There
head.
you go. And it's like I was just tapping into that God frequency, but God kept bringing it back to me.
Telepathic talk.
And I was like, okay, so who's Krishna? And I start following the path of Krishna in my head, and but then it went back to self, and I was like, oh, seriously? So everything is me. Everything's me expressing itself in a different form. Okay. So I feel like people will come into your path to also teach you different things. You know, whether it's something about yourself that you haven't dealt with, whether it's something about yourself that you need to add, you know, whether it's something about yourself you need to freaking subtract. Every single person comes into your life for a specific reason. And more time, the ones that annoy you the most, they've got the most to give. They've got the most lessons for you to learn. And you're annoyed because something inside of you is being triggered by that. But yeah, interesting conversations. What I'm gonna say, I think we've pretty much tapped onto that already when I said what other effects has fasting had on you. I think you mentioned what type of some of the effects that fasting had on you. Was there anything else that you take had on you in regards to fasting?
Started seeing auras around people.
So started really tapping into your true form.
Yeah, yeah.
What about you? Would you say fasting's had
Maybe
effects it had on you?
more spiritual. When I was in the journey of it, yeah, maybe more spiritual. I knew
Interesting.
that there was a lot more from this fasting thing, and I thought, wow, my parents ain't taught me this. Why have I been missing out all these years?
And they don't know these things. That's unfortunately. So the next generation should always come to level up the thing, and it should be like that. Would you say that any of your family members, friends have been motivated or inspired by your journey? For instance, my mum, I didn't actually tell her to change her diet. She just kept watching me. What you eating there? What you eating there? And she was just intrigued. But she kept eating her stuff. And then as time went on, she'd call me, oh, I got something for you. Go there. She's got a big bag of ashwagandha. She's got moringa. And I'm like, huh? She goes, yeah, I got these things for you. You use these things, innit? I'm sure you use them. I was like, wow. Thanks, Mom. Then I start to see her implementing them things for herself. And then now she don't eat meat no more. You know, she doesn't eat dairy no more. She literally changed her whole diet. She does fruit fast and everything. And it's just so beautiful to watch her do it.
Very powerful.
But it was example. I didn't get onto her about it. I just lived my life. She's seen how it helped me. And then she started to do it. So is there any friends, family, or anyone that's in your life that you inspired to that level for them to really make change? Anyone that comes to light?
Well, when you just said that again, it was like it reminded me about me. And like I said, it goes back to the same thing. When you work on yourself, you can help everyone else. So when I started I used to want to pour from an empty cup. No money, nothing. I was just like you that had good intentions for people. I want us to do better, go against the system. We need to stand together. Us melanated people come together. And I've always been like that from a youth before food anyway. That's been my thing. But then I was pouring with I was an empty, just a broken child. You know, growing up, mum didn't have much. Nothing really ain't going on. So I'm coming from an empty place. People ain't really respecting that. There's no respect to that. You know what I've done? 2 years I spent working on myself, away from people, not answering my phone much. And when I worked on myself, I became this beast. And when I'm a beast now, people are respecting me. I'm looking in people's eyes at anything. When I'm talking, people are saying I can feel your energy, and these different kind of things are going on. So when I worked on myself, I could help everyone else. So through action, everyone just knows. The people popped me up and said, I'm done with it now. Now, after you done that shop video, yo, I'm not eating nothing again. You send me some wicked voice notes, you know, yo, I'm jumping on what you're on and da-da-da-da-da. That's why just through my action, people can get influenced as well. Because mine's based off passion.
Of course.
A lot of why I started my journey is passionate. Very, very passionate.
Of course, and some people will mistake passion for anger, and it isn't the same thing. Even though it may look like that on the outside, the packaging, when you open it, you see that.
sure.
Yeah, it's a lot more beautiful than that. It's a lot more inspirational, shall we say? What about you, Aaron?
But
Would you say anyone's been inspired by you, family-wise, friends? Have you really inspired anyone's journey?
From like what I do with my cooking and that, you know, with my posts and that, I post what I've cooked and that. People say, "Yo, I really like that. Like, I never thought to do that with that." Or how do you know what I mean?
I know about that.
Or like the way you curry the food, and that is how I curry my jerk chicken. You get me? So it's just like there is other ways. I'm inspiring other people to be like, "Yo, you can make vegetables taste nice." You get me?
I personally know that you've inspired friends, even if it was just the minor thing of losing weight, just because they see that you're in a fit space yourself. Like, yo, like, how come you're fit like that? Like, now allow that. I can't be looking like this, and you look like that, and I'm standing next to you. I don't feel good. Would you say that anyone else that you've actually inspired to change their diet, or just change the way that they are?
Yeah. I noticed that I can rub off on people a lot at work.
Interesting.
Because that's how I am, positive, I talk positive. And I noticed the people them around me never used to think the way I used, but when they've been around me long enough, it starts rubbing off on them. So I know how powerful I am in the way I speak and do my thing differently.
And that's the thing. You can just walk walk the walk, innit? Walk the path that you're walking, and someone's going to be looking. Well, everyone's looking at some point, but some people won't say anything because they are inspired by you, but they just won't say it. And then others will obviously give that gratitude and thanks. Well, I've had people from your workplace come to me for capsules and stuff, so I can tell that, you know, there's something that you're doing that's rubbing off on them. Love that. Does anyone here read books? Is there any particular book that you've read? Or doesn't have to be an actual physical book, could also be an audio book. Any book that you've read that's just changed your level of thinking and changed your mentality completely. Shifted.
Power of subconscious mind.
That's interesting. I'm rereading that right now.
That's what I read when I was locked up.
Yeah.
That showed me like, yo, that was different. That changed my life. That book did.
I definitely
Yeah.
agree. I'm rereading it now, and it shifted me in spaces that I didn't even realize I was kind of slacking in. You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, I wasn't doing that. I thought I was always doing that. But sometimes you have to go back to the beginning, you know, in order to circulate back up. Like, I see life like a spiral. And if you're at the bottom level of the spiral, the spiral is going to curve and it's going to go to the next level. So it feels like I'm going to the same space again, but I actually ain't. I'm actually going to a level up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Kicking out that ceiling and making it my floor. But sometimes kicking out the ceiling is going to be the hard part. But I'm down for it. Let's go. So yeah, Power of Subconscious Mind is a powerful one. What about yourself?
Yeah, it's a deep book still.
I'm gonna get that one, see what's going on with that one there still.
What about you? Is there any specific one that you've read or audio book?
I feel like it'd be cheeky to say one, because reading's a part of my everyday life. So for me to pick out a book, there's so many books that I would say that have just been so powerful when I'm reading them. Within like when I'm reading the book and I'm taking in what the book's saying, like it's me talking certain times as well. Like it's really making me go into myself and really say, yeah, man, I'm stronger in that now then, because I read that page there and I have to go back to that word, that little paragraph there, you know, and I might just highlight it or I put it on my Snapchat and just, I just do my little explaining the words of what it meant and going to myself. But beautiful reading is, man, but I would say Dr. Layla Africa Nutricide, that's a serious book.
Do you know I knew you was going to come with that type of book?
Yeah.
I don't know why. Before I even came in here, I knew you was going to come with that particular type of book. You just hold that type of energy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
What's that,
it
Dr.
makes
Layla?
sense.
Dr. Layla Africa.
Yeah, I'd have to look at that still.
Serious book.
Yeah.
So serious. It make you know about yourself even more so.
Yeah.
It's about the food, but the sexualization of food and going into self and seeking within and knowing about self and how we're supposed to be living and the sexualization of women with the clothing and what it means and the rituals with the birthdays
Yeah,
and
I want that
celebrating
book.
these birthdays. That
Yeah.
It's not even a birthday. You just have a birth date that you're born and should be given to your mother's womb because it's her day, not your day. And when he broke it down, I thought, he's right.
Wow.
I can't deny these things. Otherwise, I'm being ignorant. And I thought, you know what, that book is a serious book, that is.
I wish I could read. I
You will.
wish I could read.
But you will be able to. It's just for you to actually expand that part of
I
yourself.
feel like that part there I would love, 'cause I know that I would expand a lot. But a lot of the things that to figure out with the spiritual within. Sometimes I feel like sometimes people read books and plant their own seed what another man's writ and don't think for
For
themselves.
themselves, yeah.
Where I feel like me, I'm more tapped into. Sometimes when people are reading books, it's like, I already know that already, but I never read this book.
Yeah, that happens to me as well.
There are a lot of times when people are reading stuff and stuff into sync with me already, and it's like, how did I know this already?
Like I said, the answers are within already.
Yeah, it's all within,
That's
innit?
what it is.
Definitely.
They're already there.
You are the
Just have to
library.
seek them.
Yeah,
Everyone's got
literally.
different approaches.
Yeah.
It's not-
Literally.
his way is very powerful.
Yeah.
Some might not have to read a book and then it reminds them. Sometimes we get reminded about self
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
return back to self again. So it's
I
powerful.
feel like I do tap in more into that side than any book, but I learn a lot from, you know, when things have been like a video.
Like podcasts
Okay.
and stuff.
That's I learn a lot from off that. But
More visual.
reading it myself, I have to go off my own signals, and this is why you couldn't put me in Muslim or Quran or all this type of religions, because I have my own thought process, and I know that somebody's written that Quran, somebody's written that Bible. So how did they get their signal to write that?
Yeah,
It's like if you get flinging out of the jungle, how are you gonna talk to live your life? without these paper, because like I said, jungle's big and wet. You can't have no book to show you the manual of life. So I used to pray for my manual as well. I used to pray for that a lot, where I feel like that was another thing that got me on this journey as well.
You tapped on some interesting points there.
Yeah.
It's like I don't even know which one to ask first. Because obviously I know a couple of views on religion already. I do feel like within religion there's things to learn.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, it gives me a guide, innit?
Yeah.
What makes
But
sense to
I
you?
don't feel like it's something that should be, I have to, do you know what I mean? Make sure that I'm running by Peter's word or, you know, whoever's word in that. And it has to be in my every single day life. There's obviously elements of it that I can learn from. A version of me a few years ago, I would never have sat down with a person that's religious and had a conversation. Just not doing it, because I just feel like your thinking's capped. I'm not interested. But now, I don't do that now. I'm open. And I feel like when you're open, you learn more. There's more
100%.
codes that you receive, because it's like, okay, let me sit back and see what you actually give me. And there's some wisdom that comes out of the person at that moment. And it's like, look at this.
100%.
I nearly capped my moment of wisdom to come in, because I decided that, how much more could I have learnt before? So yeah, I don't cap my thinking or my learning just because someone is religious. Religion isn't for me personally, because I feel like it all leads to the same space. It's literally all routes to the same space, which is self, like you're saying. But what are your views on religion? How do you see it? How do you view it?
These questions is very, very deep. I'll let someone else go first. I want to listen first.
Do you know what? Me personally, go to, like I said, I went to church Sunday. I'm very open-minded about these things, you know me. But to see that they're not on this conscious thing with the food side of things. Because sometimes you don't need a book to kind of teach you these things, you know. The information is there in the software of the food, personally. That's my belief. So if you're not following this, but you go in church to hear somebody else talk, and they're not on this time per journey themselves, so they're having parasites playing with them, and the
Big
parasites
talk.
preaching to
Big
the people
talk.
them. It's baffling me. How can you follow these type of people who are not on this pathway? They're not cleaning up their own environment within inside themselves. But they have a messy environment and they're preaching, and then you have to take in the mess. I'm baffled with it.
And it's like,
That's interesting there. I have to write that down, but sorry, go on.
No, but it's true what he's saying.
So, to me, when it comes to that, it's like I'm going to a lot of places and I can see a lot of parasites taking control of this character and moving and saying, "Yes, Jesus," and going with themselves. And I look and sometimes I look and I analyze this thing and I say, "Yo, you can't see what I'm seeing here." So, I believe, me personally, food has a big part to your spiritual growth and certain things. Personally, that's my view on it. Anyway, my side of things.
It's like,
You hit on some valid points there, you know.
Really
Even
valid.
when you said software in
Really
the
valid.
food. Software in the food. Do you know what you even said there? Do you know how many levels that can go?
You know, this is, like I said to you, I experienced the dark. I did this at 25. I'd glad I never do it no any earlier, because sometimes people do it earlier and follow the hype of veganism and then go back to meat. But me experiencing the dark side of eating flesh, and that was just kind of fish. I cut out the chicken from about 14. But when I was starting to see that, and then the sickness what I was having, because a lot of people was getting that acid. Remember, I was getting acid and I'm regurgitating my food, wondering why my family can eat food and I'm the one who's getting up. So I tried to drink milk. When I tell you to drink milk, it was the worst thing I could have done. But when how can I say, what was that now?
Regurgitating your food.
Yeah, there's a certain part I was going to say to you, you know.
The software. She mentioned
Yeah.
the software to you about the software and the fruit.
And then talking about the hype of veganism, not wanting to do it beforehand. It's going to come back.
Kind of lost me where I went, you know.
It's going to come
You
back
done
to
it
you.
from young. You said you done it from 25.
Yeah, that. From me experiencing the darkness because you have to experience the darkness to understand the light.
Oh,
Of course.
So
power.
that
Times
there,
nine.
that there, even this has made me kind of lose the contacts with my actual family, my mother and father,
Truth.
because I'm seeing their behaviors, and it's like, wow, is this really this? And then when you start to see traits of other people, and you say, oh, so you're fighting with parasites every day.
You hit it again. You hit it again. You
You're
hit
fighting
it
with
again.
parasites every day, man.
So, parasites, one of my favourite conversations. Parasites come in so many different forms. But I'm not going to hit it yet because I want you to come at me first. I got a feeling you're going to say something that's valid. So, yeah, with the question I just asked.
Religion or...
Yeah.
Well,
What's your view on that?
this is a very big deal, to be honest, because I was Muslim. I went 7-day Adventist school, primary school. Private school, my dad sent me to. There's only 10, 11 kids in the class. So I was that from a youth. Come away from that. When I was 10 or 11, I'm saying, this Jesus thing, you're not even aligning with me from young. Remember I said to you, from young, I've just been a bit different. So I didn't align with secondary school. I'm not even on that again. I'm just praying to God. Then living a life, went on the roads and done whatnot. Bridges went to jail. I've jumped on a Islamic thing. So I was Muslim for 4 years. I ain't even been Muslim, not even a year yet. To tell you the truth, not even been a year. And not even everyone knows. When this comes out, everyone's going to know. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because I don't want people coming to me and telling me what I should be, or because that's what I get around me. Because I'm a very open person, people want to tell me you can't do this and you can't do that, and you need to get back in the mosque and all these different kind of things. And I just want to work on myself. When I'm telling people, I don't even tell. When I want to advise people about food, there's no conversation. The people are not, but then people want to force something upon me, and I'm not forcing nothing. I'm just giving out advice. So yeah, I was Muslim for 4 years, you know, and I was on my deen. It's not one day that I didn't pray 5 times a day. Every single day I pray 5 times a day. I'm not saying I was perfect because Islam has so much depth to it, but you know, when I really tapped into myself, you know what I was saying in the masjid? I want to know who I am. I kept asking this question. I want to know who I am. After Jummah, let's go for a mixed grill. Man, I'm on a mixed grill. Everyone's gone for a mixed grill. I ain't going because that's not me. So even though I was a Muslim, you know, I'm always the odd one out. Because I'm not going for a mixed grill, that's not my stilo. After Jummah, I don't want to go cram up my belly with rice and meat and everyone digging up the meat and eating chops and whatnot. That's not me. That's not really nourishment to me. I can break down to anyone in the masjid, this, that, and people will say to me, but it's not just about the food thing. The food thing's not really, it's not really a relevance. But I know the relevance it's had on me, so who are you to talk about what relevance it is when I've lived it though? I've been through things with food. I've experienced stuff. I'm talking, not talking what a man told me in the mosque. I'm telling you what I've lived and breathed.
So you experienced the
That's
dark
mad.
side.
Oh, right then.
But it's mad how people say that because Jesus and Muhammad never lived like that. They lived on minimal. So if you're meant to be a Christian or a Muslim, you're meant to follow the ways of how to... Do you get what I'm saying?
I
Of
can
how they
accept
live?
that people aren't perfect because people will say, they'll drop that one there. The humans are perfect, but the books are. And then that goes into a different side because now they're saying the books are perfect. And then it's people are going to start debunking the books, and I don't want to debunk or disrespect no one's thing, you know. I just live my life in a certain way, and I just align with self, and I just do the best.
That's it, the alignment with yourself, because you're the one who's feeling the positiveness of
That's
what
it.
you're doing. You can't read a book, and if they tell you say eat bare meat and you're feeling sick of it, you're gonna follow the book.
You get me.
Make it
But
make sense.
that's how their thing. That's
Yeah,
how
I know,
it does go.
I know.
Yeah,
If the
that's how
book
it
says
goes.
something, it's just that.
Yeah.
No matter what works within myself or what works for me,
Yeah.
it's just that,
It's
and
just
that's what's
that,
going to be
innit?
going
Yeah.
on. And sometimes it doesn't truthfully. If you be true to yourself, because remember, enough people in religion, because their mum and dad done it, I'm in it.
That they-
and then some people have got a
yeah,
choice, you know. Right now, people are in marriages, and they didn't really have a choice. But if you're not on that, you get kicked out your yard. You're just programmed already, like how we're programmed with the food. People have been programmed into religion from birth.
I was as well. I was told I was going to go to hell if I don't go to church. You get me? I was in the church till like age 15. I was baptized, sang in the choir, everything. You get me? And then my mum said to me, like, whenever you want to leave, when you're 15, you can go in it. As soon as I was 15, I was gone, cut, because I felt like it wasn't for me. I was just going to church because of nanny. Because nanny showed me, do you know what I
That's
mean?
a deep comment you just said about, that's about
Yeah.
us carbonated people and
Yeah.
grandmas and stuff. Because of their indoctrination, the granny's on, and granny's in the church, she put her hat on and her tights on and she go on her church and she go and sing with her, me go on her church, and it's just a culture that's been brought to us. But if you really know, we was enslaved to be like this. It was an enslaved thing for us to be like this, to take us away from who?
African spirituality as well. You
Take us away from self.
Take it from self, yeah.
We're Moors, you know.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
beyond this, we're Moors.
Yeah,
That's what it returns back to, originality.
Yeah.
And that's who we are. Original Moors. If you look at the names in like Jamaica.
Yeah.
You got the names, and if you see,
all
you
there,
know, the
innit?
answers are there. You know, you get what I'm trying to say?
When I went to the slave castle and that, they were showing us the altars that they put in the slave castles and it, and they used to torture us for practicing African spirituality.
Yeah, definitely.
And people turned Christian for safety,
100%.
to feel safe. Yeah, yeah.
100%. Because remember,
Yeah.
our mechanisms that we have, our body, the way it's made,
Yeah.
is not the same as the other people. And that can't be denied. So in Islam, it says, for example, an
Yeah.
Arab can't favour over a white man can't favour over a black man. No one's favoured. It gives that kind of equal balance. But we're all different beings.
Yeah.
And the quicker we know that, the better. I'm not saying maybe some diets might work for other people, but you can't tell me about me and mine because we do this. So how can we all eat the same?
Yeah, it's
How
true.
can I listen to a book that's telling us all to eat the same? It does not
Because
make
not
sense.
everybody is the
Doesn't
same.
make the sense.
Yeah, not everybody's the same either. That's the thing.
No,
I know
it's
you're
true.
smiling because I
used
know
to always tell
certain
my
things that
people
you
them,
say.
I can't eat like a European.
Yeah.
I'm not like a European.
I was waiting for you to
Tell
say
them
it.
straight.
I was